Hello guys, Melo here. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about a topic that is very important to me, and the topic is how easy it is to actually have a man in your life, and me not understanding why people make such a big deal of like having or keeping a man in your life. Whenever I hear people shaming women for being whores, or as I like to see it sometimes, living their lives as freely as some men do, with phrases like, you'll never get married, or let's say a more extreme spectrum, people saying that it will be impossible for a sex worker to find a partner will never not be funny to me because one, there is nothing that's more easy than to have a man on your life or even wasting your time. And also, just because you wouldn't do it, just because your friends wouldn't have a relationship with that person, just because your neighbors, just because your coworkers, just because even your Uber driver like wouldn't have a relationship with a person that has that type of life, doesn't mean that somebody else would never. Your whole community is still a very small group of people. I have many big dreams that every single day I try to achieve, even if 1% daily. I also am very grateful of many things that I've been able to achieve in my life. To achieve these things and to achieve my next goals is going to take a lot of patience, discipline, and some of them money too. But out of all the things that I've done, there's nothing easier than keeping a man in your life. A good one? Well, I don't know about that. But if it's someone that you want to have next to you, believe me, it's not rocket science to have. But I can understand how people in 2026 are still stuck with this type of mentality. For a good part of human history, the value of a woman was heavily tied on her ability to give up on her whole life, dreams, and aspirations for a family, for a husband, and her kids. How, like, being a woman meant having a husband, being a woman, a real woman, meant having kids. So I can understand how people are still believe that uh, their purpose, or there are still women believing that their whole goal should be having a boyfriend, for example. So I can understand their point of view, but the problem is that nowadays there's just like too much information or too many ways of getting educated on different types of subjects. If you're someone who has the privilege of having a good education, access to internet and whatnot, you're also very capable of educating yourself on what's right and what's wrong. I get people from isolated communities, or yeah, people that struggle in different ways, especially with education, because technically, if you are struggling financially, it's gonna be hard for you to give a very good education to your kids and whatnot. So I get people living in these types of communities not being able to let go of certain beliefs, because technically these people don't even have the opportunity to like let go of this stuff because they're not educated enough. That's why I don't like when people try to blame poor people or people in more financially unstable communities, like try to blame them for having like too many kids, because everyone in their right mind knows that if you're not capable of providing for your kids, maybe you shouldn't be having not even one. But you need to understand that, of course, it's going to be easy for you to think this way because you had the opportunity, you had the privilege of thinking this way. I know that if, for example, let's say that if I wanted to have kids, I know that I need to be able to provide for them. And it's not just food and clothes. No, there's a whole lot of things that you need to be able to provide for children, even like being able to pay for a therapist, a therapist session. I believe that if you're having kids, you need to take all of that in consideration. And unfortunately, we are not living in a world where like people all of us have the privilege of doing that. So I really do not like when they take victims of capitalism as an example of whatever. But if you are in a situation where you literally have something that many don't do, please use that to your advantage, because you are too privileged to be thinking that your whole meaning, or yeah, for you to be a person, you automatically need to have a boyfriend or a husband or whatever in your life. So that's why I keep telling people to just live your life freely, because as long as you are a woman, that's already a curse. So either way, people are always gonna talk. This is a very basic advice, but you need to know that. And like, people are gonna talk, even if you are living your life the way that it was designed to, you're still gonna catch strays. So might as well just do whatever. Please never set your goals around men. Be careful of what you may think or do for someone that might be, or like has a very big chance of being temporary, especially if you are like very young. Sometimes I see people giving up on job opportunities, giving up on scholarships just because they have a boyfriend or whatnot, and they are giving up on these very fantastic opportunities for someone that is not even gonna last 2 years in your life. Or you're wasting this opportunity for someone that if they were in your position, they would never choose to be with you instead of like going abroad or something else. And of course, people usually tell me that because I've never been in this type of situation, it's very easy for me to talk, which I take this type of thing as like an insult, because what makes you think like, I've done many things in my life that shows that I really value myself and my own person. So what makes you think that like whenever I get the chance or the opportunity to be in this situation where I have to choose between a man and a whole scholarship, what makes you think that I'm going to choose a relationship that is not even gonna last 6 months? You can still do whatever you want to do with a boyfriend. Please, it's not normal to have someone or a man in your life and you're not being able to do the stuff that you want to do. That's not normal. I don't believe that that's a healthy relationship. You can still try a new hobby. You can still go abroad. You can still change jobs, change schools. You can still, hell, even try a new personality while being with someone. You should be able to live your life, not, oh my God. But yeah, that's why I try to not hang out with people that center their lives around men, because I believe that that's kind of rubbing on me too. And I did a very good job at decentering men, in my opinion, which I also want to talk about that in like next time. Yeah, but this is all I had to say. Nothing new, nothing extraordinary, just like my point of view when it comes to these types of like problems, issues, struggles. Yeah. And when I said that I wouldn't waste a good opportunity on a relationship that would last 6 months, it's not that I know that the relationship is going to last 6 months, but I'm very young and I'm always changing. So it's very possible for a relationship of mine not lasting that long.